When Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat that December evening in 1955, she had eaten dinner just hours before, a simple meal that gave her the strength to change history forever. During the Civil Rights era, these 25 classic soul foods didn't just fill empty stomachs. They fueled the fight for freedom, nourished the movement, and kept communities strong when everything else seemed to fall apart. Philadelphia pepper pot soup. This hearty tripe soup, rich with vegetables and warming spices, originated in Philadelphia, but spread throughout black communities as a filling, economical meal. Made with beef tripe, potatoes, onions, and a blend of spices that created complex, satisfying flavors, the soup could feed large families during cold winter months. During the Civil Rights era, church kitchens would prepare enormous pots of pepper pot soup for activists attending long meetings and planning sessions. The soup represented resourcefulness, using cuts of meat that others might discard to create something nourishing and delicious. Many civil rights workers would gather around steaming bowls of this soup while discussing voter registration strategies and organizing peaceful demonstrations. The long cooking process meant the soup could simmer while people attended protests, ready to provide warmth and comfort when they returned home, exhausted from their efforts. Raccoon stew. This substantial wild game dish provided protein-rich meals for families skilled in hunting and preparing larger game animals. Raccoon meat, when properly cleaned and slow-cooked with root vegetables and seasonings, created filling stews that could feed extended families during gatherings. During the Civil Rights era, raccoon stew represented self-reliance and the hunting traditions that helped families survive economic hardship and job discrimination. The preparation was labor-intensive, requiring knowledge of proper cleaning techniques and long cooking times to ensure tender, safe meat. Many civil rights workers grew up in families that supplemented store-bought food with wild game, carrying these survival skills into their adult struggles for equality. Church communities in rural areas would sometimes prepare raccoon stew for large gatherings. The familiar dish, connecting people to traditional foodways while providing the protein necessary to sustain activists through long days of organizing and protesting. Baked possum with sweet potatoes. This traditional southern dish combined wild game with cultivated sweet potatoes to create complete filling meals that showcased both hunting skills and agricultural knowledge. The possum, when properly prepared and slow roasted with sweet potatoes, onions, and seasonings, provided substantial nutrition for families willing to hunt their own protein. During the Civil Rights Movement, this dish represented the self-sufficiency that helped black families survive despite economic discrimination. The preparation required specific knowledge of cleaning and cooking techniques that ensured safe, flavorful results. Many families maintain these traditional skills even after moving to urban areas, passing down recipes and techniques through generations. Church dinners in rural communities would occasionally feature baked possum, connecting urban activists visiting from cities to country traditions and demonstrating the resourcefulness that had sustained black communities through centuries of hardship and struggle. Fried chicken. Golden, crispy, and crackling with flavor, fried chicken became the crown jewel of soul food during the Civil Rights era. African American cooks perfected the art of seasoning and frying chicken in cast iron skillets, creating a dish that could feed large families and church gatherings on limited budgets. The secret wasn't just in the flour and spices, it was in the technique passed down through generations. During the 1950s and 1960s, fried chicken appeared at every important gathering, from Sunday dinners to civil rights fundraisers. Activists would often gather around tables laden with this crispy comfort food, planning marches and strategies while sharing meals that reminded them of home and heritage. Fried buffalo fish ribs. These freshwater fish ribs, cleaned and fried until crispy, provided affordable protein for families living near rivers and streams. Buffalo fish, with their large rib sections, offered substantial meat that could be prepared similarly to pork ribs but at much lower cost. During the Civil Rights era, fried buffalo fish ribs appeared at church fish fries and community fundraising events, the unique preparation drawing curious visitors and raising money for the movement. The cleaning and preparation required specific skills passed down through generations of fishermen and cooks who understood how to work with these large, bony fish. Many civil rights workers grew up eating buffalo fish ribs at family gatherings and church suppers, carrying memories of these distinctive flavors into their adult activism. The dish represented making the most of local resources and traditional knowledge to create satisfying meals despite economic constraints. Hot water cornbread. These simple corn cakes, made from just cornmeal, salt, and hot water, represented survival cooking at its most basic level. Fried in small patties, they provided sustenance when other ingredients weren't available. During the Civil Rights era, hot water cornbread sustained families during economic boycotts and job discrimination. The preparation was quick and required minimal ingredients, making it perfect for feeding unexpected guests or stretching meals during hard times. Church kitchens would prepare batches of these simple corn cakes for activists attending long meetings or demonstrations. The dish connected contemporary struggles to ancestral survival techniques, reminding people of their resilience and ability to persevere through difficult circumstances. Many civil rights workers carried the recipe in their memories, able to create filling meals anywhere they found themselves during the movement. Collard greens. Slow-simmered collard greens, seasoned with ham hocks or fatback, provided essential nutrients when fresh vegetables were scarce and expensive. These hearty leaves, cooked down with onions and spices, became a staple that could feed large groups for very little money. During the Civil Rights Movement, church kitchens would prepare massive pots of collard greens for activists who needed hearty, nourishing meals. The cooking process itself became a community activity. Women would gather to clean, chop, and season the greens together, sharing news, gossip, and plans for upcoming demonstrations. The pot liquor, the flavorful broth left behind, was often saved and eaten with cornbread, ensuring nothing went to waste in households where every scrap mattered. Freshwater turtle stew. This protein-rich stew utilized freshwater turtles caught from local ponds and streams, creating hearty meals that showcased both fishing skills and creative cooking. Turtle meat, when properly cleaned and slow-cooked with vegetables and seasonings, provided substantial nutrition for families able to catch their own protein. During the Civil Rights Movement, turtle stew connected people to traditional fishing and cooking methods that had sustained their ancestors. The preparation required specific knowledge of cleaning techniques and cooking methods that ensured tender, safe meat. Rural communities would organize turtle catching expeditions that combined necessary food gathering with social activities that strengthened community bonds. Church kitchens in areas near water sources would occasionally prepare turtle stew for special occasions. The unique dish demonstrating the diverse protein sources that resourceful families utilize to maintain nutrition despite limited access to conventional grocery stores and economic discrimination. Black-eyed peas. These protein-packed legumes carry deep cultural significance, especially when eaten on New Year's Day for good luck and prosperity. Black-eyed peas could be prepared in countless ways: stewed with ham bones, mixed into salads, or mashed into fritters. During the Civil Rights Movement, they provided affordable nutrition for families struggling economically due to job discrimination and boycotts. Churches would organize pea picking parties, where community members would shell bushels of peas together, turning necessary food preparation into social events that strengthened bonds. The peas represented hope and resilience, carrying the promise that better days were coming. Many civil rights workers would start New Year's Day with a hearty bowl of black-eyed peas, believing they were setting themselves up for success in the year's struggles ahead. Blackbird stew. When resources ran thin, blackbird stew stretched every penny and fed every mouth. Rural families turned to the skies for protein, transforming small birds into rich, nourishing meals. The dark meat simmered slowly with onions, carrots, and whatever vegetables could be found. This dish connected families to their hunting traditions while providing essential nutrition during economic hardship. Women gathered blackbirds at dawn, their skilled hands preparing meals that would fuel entire households. The stew represented resourcefulness and determination, qualities that defined the civil rights movement. Community members shared recipes and techniques, building bonds that extended far beyond the kitchen. Each pot of blackbird stew told a story of making do with what was available, turning scarcity into abundance through creativity and love. Catfish. Fried catfish, golden and flaky, became a weekend tradition in black households across the South. These bottom-feeding fish were affordable and readily available, often caught fresh from local rivers and ponds. The preparation was an art form. Fish cleaned, seasoned, coated in seasoned cornmeal, and fried until crispy. During the Civil Rights era, catfish fries became community fundraising events, bringing neighbors together while raising money for the movement. The fish represented making the best of what was available, transforming humble ingredients into something special. Activists would organize fish fries in church parking lots and community centers, using the social atmosphere to discuss voter registration drives and plan peaceful protests. The smell of frying catfish could draw crowds, making these events perfect for spreading information and building solidarity. Chitterlings. These cleaned and seasoned pig intestines represented the ultimate example of not wasting any part of the animal. Chitterlings required hours of careful cleaning and slow cooking, usually prepared during cold winter months when the strong smell could be contained. Despite their humble origins, they became a delicacy in black communities, often served during holidays and special gatherings. During the Civil Rights era, preparing chitterlings became a community activity that brought families together for hours of conversation and bonding. The dish symbolized making something precious from what others discarded, a powerful metaphor for the black experience in America. Civil rights workers would often joke about the dedication required to clean and cook chitterlings, comparing it to the patience and persistence needed for social change. Rabbit and dumplings. Cottontail rabbits became the foundation for comfort food that warmed hearts and filled bellies during cold winter months. The tender meat fell off the bone in rich broths, topped with fluffy dumplings that soaked up every drop of flavor. Rabbit hunting provided both recreation and necessity, connecting families to outdoor traditions while supplying essential protein. The dish required time and patience, qualities that civil rights families developed through years of struggle and perseverance. Church dinners often featured massive pots of rabbit and dumplings, feeding entire congregations after long services and meetings. The cooking process created opportunities for teaching young people about traditional foodways and the importance of utilizing every available resource. Each spoonful delivered comfort and nutrition while honoring the sacrifice of the animal and the skill of the cook who transformed it into nourishment. Okra. This versatile vegetable, brought to America by enslaved Africans, appeared in soul food kitchens in multiple forms: fried, stewed, or added to gumbo. Okra's natural thickening properties made it perfect for stretching soups and stews to feed large families. During the Civil Rights Movement, okra gardens provided fresh vegetables for families dealing with economic hardship. The preparation methods varied by region, but the nutritional value remained constant. Activists would often share stories about their mother's okra dishes while planning strategy sessions, the familiar vegetable serving as a bridge between generations. Church kitchens would prepare large batches of okra and tomatoes to feed volunteers working on voter registration drives, the hearty stew providing energy for long days of door-to-door canvassing in often hostile neighborhoods. Poke salad. Spring brought the promise of fresh greens as families foraged for poke plants growing wild in fields and fence rows. The young leaves, carefully selected and properly prepared, provided essential vitamins after long winters of preserved foods. Experienced foragers knew which parts of the plant were safe, passing this crucial knowledge to younger generations. Poke salad represented the deep connection between communities and the natural world that sustained them. The greens required multiple boilings to remove toxins, teaching patience and attention to detail. Families often combined poke salad with other forage plants, creating varied and nutritious meals from free ingredients. The dish connected people to ancestral knowledge about survival and traditional foodways. Each plate of poke salad represented triumph over scarcity, proving that nature provided for those who knew where to look and how to prepare what they found. Biscuits and gravy. Fluffy buttermilk biscuits smothered in sausage or country gravy created a filling breakfast that could sustain people through long days of physical labor or protest activities. The biscuits required skill to achieve the perfect texture: tender, flaky, and golden brown. During the Civil Rights era, this hearty breakfast fueled countless activists before marches, sit-ins, and demonstrations. Church ladies would wake before dawn to prepare hundreds of biscuits for volunteers, ensuring no one faced the day on an empty stomach. The gravy, made from pan drippings and flour, represented resourcefulness and the ability to create something satisfying from simple ingredients. Many civil rights workers credited their grandmother's biscuits and gravy with giving them the strength to face another day of struggle and resistance. Ash cake wrapped in collard leaves. Outdoor cooking reached its most primitive form when ash cakes baked directly in fireplace coals wrapped in protective collard leaves. The cornmeal batter, mixed with just enough liquid to hold together, steamed inside the green wrapping. This ancient cooking method connected families to their earliest American roots, when ovens were luxuries few could afford. The collard leaves imparted subtle flavor while protecting the bread from direct contact with ash and coals. Children watched in fascination as these primitive loaves emerged from glowing embers, perfectly cooked and ready to eat. The technique represented ultimate simplicity and self-sufficiency, requiring only fire, cornmeal, and leaves from the garden. Each ash cake told a story of adaptation and survival, proving that good food could be created even in the most basic circumstances. The process honored ancestral cooking methods while providing nourishment for modern families facing their own challenges. Fried green tomatoes. When tomatoes weren't quite ripe, Southern cooks turned them into crispy, tangy treats by coating them in cornmeal and frying them golden brown. This dish represented making the best of imperfect situations, a skill that served black communities well during the Civil Rights era. Fried green tomatoes appeared at church suppers and community gatherings, providing a unique flavor that visitors remembered long after leaving. The preparation was simple, but required timing, slicing the tomatoes just right, and achieving the perfect balance between crispy coating and tender interior. During times when fresh produce was limited by segregation and economic constraints, green tomatoes offered variety and nutrition. Activists would often share plates of these crispy treats while planning boycotts and demonstrations, finding comfort in familiar flavors. Corn cob broth with onion skins. Nothing went to waste in households where every scrap had value, including corn cobs and onion skins transformed into nourishing broth. The discarded corn cobs released their subtle sweetness into simmering water, while onion skins added color and nutrients. This practice epitomized the resourcefulness that characterized civil rights-era communities, proving that even waste could become sustenance. The broth served as a base for soups, stews, and other dishes, stretching ingredients and budgets. Families saved corn cobs and onion skins throughout the week, creating flavorful stocks that enhanced simple meals. The process taught children about conservation and the value of every ingredient. Each pot of broth represented the wisdom of making something from nothing, skills that sustained communities through economic hardship. The practice connected families to traditions of thrift and sustainability that had been passed down through generations of survival and adaptation. Pork chops. Thick, seasoned pork chops, fried or smothered in onion gravy, provided the protein centerpiece for countless soul food dinners. These cuts of meat were more affordable than steaks, but still offered substantial nutrition for growing families. During the Civil Rights Movement, pork chops appeared at fundraising dinners and community gatherings, prepared by volunteer cooks who knew how to make a little meat feed many people. The smothered variety, cooked slowly with onions and gravy, could stretch the meal further while creating rich, satisfying flavors. Church kitchens would prepare platters of pork chops for activists attending all-day meetings and conferences, ensuring participants stayed energized throughout long sessions of planning and organizing. The smell of frying pork chops could transform any space into a welcoming, home-like environment. Red beans and rice. This protein-rich combination became a Monday tradition in many southern cities, using leftover ham bones from Sunday dinner to flavor dried beans. The dish provided complete nutrition at minimal cost, feeding large families with ingredients that kept well without refrigeration. During the Civil Rights era, red beans and rice sustained activists through boycotts and demonstrations, offering both comfort and sustenance. The slow cooking process meant the dish could be prepared while people attended meetings or protests, ready to serve when they returned home exhausted from the day's activities. Church groups would organize bean suppers to raise funds for the movement, charging modest prices for generous portions of this filling meal. The combination represented the wisdom of making simple ingredients into something greater than the sum of their parts. Peach cobbler. Sweet, juicy peaches topped with golden biscuit dough created the perfect ending to soul food meals throughout the Civil Rights era. This dessert showcased the abundance of Southern orchards while providing comfort during difficult times. Church bakers would prepare enormous pans of peach cobbler for fundraising events, the sweet aroma drawing crowds and opening wallets for the cause. The dessert represented hope and sweetness in times of struggle, reminding people that better days were possible. Many civil rights workers shared stories about their grandmother's peach cobbler while planning strategy sessions, using the familiar dessert to maintain connections to home and family. The preparation was simple enough for novice bakers, but impressive enough for special occasions, making it perfect for community gatherings and celebrations. Salmon croquettes. Canned salmon transformed into golden, crispy patties provided affordable protein when fresh fish was unavailable or too expensive. Mixed with breadcrumbs, eggs, and seasonings, then fried until golden, these patties became a regular feature of soul food menus. During the Civil Rights Movement, salmon croquettes appeared at church dinners and community fundraisers, offering familiar flavors at reasonable prices. The dish represented resourcefulness and the ability to create something special from pantry staples. Many families would serve salmon croquettes on Fridays, continuing Catholic traditions while making them their own. Civil rights workers would often joke about church salmon patties while planning strategy sessions, the familiar dish providing comfort during uncertain times. The preparation was simple enough for busy schedules, but satisfying enough for important occasions. Roasted pig ear slabs. Butchering days meant no part of the animal went to waste, including pig ears that became crispy, flavorful treats. The ears, seasoned and slow roasted until golden, provided protein and satisfied cravings for something crunchy and savory. This practice embodied the nose-to-tail eating philosophy that sustained communities through lean times. Families gathered around tables where pig ear slabs represented both frugality and celebration of successful meat processing. The preparation required patience as ears cooked slowly until cartilage became tender and skin turned crispy. Children learned to appreciate every part of the animal, understanding that waste was a luxury poor families couldn't afford. The dish connected communities to traditional foodways while providing essential nutrition from otherwise discarded parts. Each crispy slab proved that with proper preparation and seasoning, even unusual cuts could become delicious and satisfying meals that brought families together. Homemade Southern tea cakes. Sweet treats remained possible even in modest kitchens where homemade Southern tea cakes brought joy to simple celebrations. The basic cookies, made with flour, sugar, eggs, and love, provided sweetness during times when commercial treats were unaffordable luxuries. Mothers rolled the dough thin, cutting circles that baked into golden, tender cookies, perfect for dunking in coffee or milk. These tea cakes represented the persistence of joy and celebration, even during difficult circumstances. Children helped measure ingredients and shape cookies, learning valuable skills while creating family memories. The simple treats appeared at church gatherings, family reunions, and quiet Sunday afternoons when small pleasures meant everything. Each cookie carried the sweetness of home and the comfort of traditions that connected families to happier times. The tea cakes proved that happiness could be baked into simple ingredients with just a little creativity and a lot of love. Virginia Peanut Stew. This rich, protein-packed stew showcased peanuts as more than just snacks, using them to create hearty, filling meals. Ground peanuts thickened broths while providing essential nutrients during times when meat was scarce. During the Civil Rights Movement, peanut stew appeared at church dinners and community gatherings, offering familiar flavors with African roots. The preparation connected contemporary cooking to ancestral traditions, reminding people of their cultural heritage. Many families would prepare large pots of peanut stew for community events, the rich, savory flavors satisfying hungry activists and volunteers. The dish represented resourcefulness and the ability to create substantial meals from simple ingredients. Civil rights workers would often share bowls of peanut stew while planning strategy sessions, the protein-rich meal providing energy for long days of organizing and protesting. Squirrel fricasse. This wild game dish represented hunting skills and the ability to provide protein when domestic meat was unavailable. Squirrel meat, braised slowly with vegetables and seasonings, created hearty meals for families willing to hunt and prepare wild game. During the Civil Rights era, squirrel fricasse connected people to rural traditions and survival skills. The preparation required knowledge of hunting, cleaning, and cooking techniques passed down through generations. Many civil rights workers grew up in families that supplemented their diets with wild game, carrying these skills into their adult lives. The dish symbolized self-reliance and the ability to provide for families despite economic discrimination. Church dinners in rural areas would sometimes feature squirrel fricasse, connecting urban activists to country traditions and demonstrating the diversity of soul food across different regions.